Hello there, Impact Asylum. My name's Fireguy, and welcome back to another episode of the Fireguy's predictions. I don't know why I put "the" in front of there, but anyways, I'm back with another Fireguy's predictions. For what event, you guys might be asking? Well, I will be doing a special Fireguy's predictions here for Impact Wrestling versus Lucha Underground at WrestleCon. So basically, I decided to come up with this predictions video because usually I don't watch the one night onlys and the Twitch exclusives because to me they don't really matter. They have no impact on the television product and on the main pay-per-views that we see regularly with Impact. But this time I had to make an exception. This is a huge step forward for the company, and announcing an interpromotional match with two huge promotions like this is going to be quite big of a draw. I'm actually going to tune in and watch this because this is going to be tons and tons and tons of fun. So today, guys, we have 9 matches announced up to now on the card. The card itself has been a bit underwhelming. I've expressed myself quite vocally on the website for those who have been active on the website as of late. And basically, I'll just be running through the card, starting off with the lesser matches and working myself up to the matches I think will be in the more main event scene, I guess you could say. So, without further ado, let's hop right into this, guys. I'm not going to be following my usual format here of story before, story after, and my prediction because there's no story to this. I'm basically just going to give as much context as I think I can give to the match and give the context to who I think will win. Obviously, I have to take into account here both promotions and the executive side of things on not letting one side win more than the other, I guess. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, one company could win a bit more matches, but they both need to stay looking strong for the public, basically, because it's all business at the end of the day anyways. So let's hop right in here, guys, with the first match. It's a train wreck, I must admit, but in a good way. Scott Steiner and Teddy Hart teaming together, the two most controversial figures in today's pro wrestling scene, at least, versus OVE or the Christ Brothers. So this is going to be a fun little train wreck. If they're smart, they wouldn't put this at the start because hardcore wrestling fans would pay to see something like that just because of the train wreck that could ensue with Scott Steiner and Teddy Hart being in the same match. I don't think I have to explain myself when it comes to both men. Most of you guys in Impact Asylum do know the history with these two. Not between these two, but I mean like with these two in the pro wrestling scene. But yeah, this is a tough one here. Like I said, there's no context to these matches, so it's really hard to give these predictions out. OVE have a tendency to lose when they're not with Sami Callihan ever since Sami joined them at Bound for Glory last year. Whenever they're put in a match without Sami, they're usually just the lackeys to lose, and then eventually once they are with Sami, they become more dominant and win more matches. So my guess here is they're probably going to give a win to Scott Steiner and Teddy Hart here. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Scott's in a very specific, not specific, but very peculiar scenario as well here. So it's very hard to see one going over the other in this scenario. But at the end of the day, Teddy Hart and Scott Steiner got this just for, not for the controversy it would cause, but like the pop of those two winning together would definitely suit the hardcore fans. And OVE can eat a loss like that over two such huge names in the business that are huge names, not for the right reason. But yeah, my guess here is Scott Steiner and Teddy Hart. OVE can bounce back from this easily, especially if it has no impact on the week-to-week product that Impact produces. So this is the first of 2 matches that are not Impact versus Lucha Underground related whatsoever. So let's keep on going here. The next match, I feel is a big waste of the Impact talent that's in this match, is Trevor Lee versus Famous B. I almost said Infamous B. But yes, Trevor Lee versus Famous B. This is just going to be a quick comedy match. For those who don't know, Famous B, a lot of you guys in Impact Asylum don't keep track of Lucha Underground all that much. Famous B is well, started off as a jobber in Lucha Underground, and now he's moved to a manager role, and he just manages jobbers basically again. So he's not out of the hole, anyways. I hate that Impact always rely on Trevor Lee to carry the comedy side of things most of the time with his caveman gimmick. He should be pushed as a lot more dangerous, but heck, whatever floats their boat, I guess. In the end here, Trevor Lee should win this. There's no way Famous B is going over Trevor Lee. This is just a quick victory for Trevor Lee. Don't know what he's going to get. He's not going to get much out of this, but it's a match, I guess, right? It shouldn't take too long, though. I hope it doesn't take too long. I feel like the shenanigans are going to make it drag on for way too long. But we'll see what we get. This is definitely not a 5-star match by any means, but, I mean, there has to be a bit of bad on the card, right? And not everything's perfect. So let's move on to a 6-way match here, guys, where we have 3 people from Impact Wrestling and 3 people from Lucha Underground. So we have Moose versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. versus Matt Sydal versus Jack Evans versus Caleb Conley versus Matanza Cueto, or Jeff Cobb, as we like to call him outside of his Lucha Underground gimmick. So this is like, here's the match that Impact, because I still think from like deep down that Impact is the one that had the biggest say and the majority of this card here, but this is the match that Impact used to throw a bone at Lucha Underground to give them a win, because Lucha Underground hasn't won a match. Well, I haven't predicted a Lucha Underground win yet, and this is where the Lucha Underground win will come in here. I feel like they purposely made this match with a bunch of the smaller X Division guys, just so Moose and Matanza will stick out, and I feel like it's going to be a big showdown between Moose and Matanza, and in the end, Matanza will win. Of course, this is what I said, like, this, what am I saying? Okay, repeat. This is what I was saying earlier when I said that they have to protect certain wrestlers, since they are a business. They still need to produce their weekly TV show, so these interpromotional events have to bend a bit in certain people's favors to keep their gimmicks on television A-okay. So this is where Matanza is going to come in, and getting a win over another big guy like Moose is just going to add to his resume as a huge, indestructible monster in Lucha Underground. So these smaller guys here are just cannon fodder. Moose and Matanza is the big showdown here, and in the end, I see Matanza winning without a doubt. So let's move on to a not a six-person tag, but well, yeah, I'm guessing it's a 6-person tag. Is that what they're called? I don't remember the technical term, if it's they consider it 3 people on each team or 6 people in total. But anyways, you got a three-man tag match, well, trios match, I guess you could call it. Since we are partnering with Lucha Underground, might as well call it the Lucha Libre term of a trios match. So we have on Lucha Underground side Aerostar, King Cuerno, and Drago taking on DJZ, Andrew Everett, and Desmond Xavier. So this is be a solid match to start off the show. These are definitely the top high flyers from both promotions, and they could definitely deliver a very fast, high-paced, high-flying action in the ring to start the show off. So here again, I'm going to have to give it to Lucha Underground for the simple fact that DJZ, Andrew Everett have not been used in Impact in quite a while. Desmond Xavier missed the last set of tapings because he was gone doing a tour of Japan. I think it was either with Dragon Gate or Noah, I don't remember. And meanwhile, Aerostar, King Cuerno, and Drago are all involved in storylines right now in Lucha Underground. Well, based off of Season 3. I have no idea about Season 4 because it hasn't aired yet, but at least we know that with these 3 people, they have a bit more of a context, a bit more of a story that Lucha Underground needs to protect. And by eating a pin like this, like, even if they lose, it wouldn't hurt too much because the stories don't revolve around wins and losses. They're a bit more personal. Like, Drago's part of the Reptile Squad, Aerostar is trying to save him, King Cuerno got involved at Ultima Lucha 3, made his big return. So, I mean, they need to keep them strong. I mean, if they eat the defeat, like if they get pinned, one of the 3 get pinned or submitted, I mean, it wouldn't hurt them all that much, but there's no reason for them to go that way. So my bet is Lucha Underground wins this year. Aerostar, King Cuerno, and Drago over DJZ, Andrew Everett, and Desmond Xavier. So let's keep this action going here, guys, and let's go on to the next match here. So this is the first of 2 knockout titles. What am I saying? Impact titles that are on the line. But yes, like I said, the knockout title is on the line here. Ali will be defending her knockouts championship against Taya Valkyrie. So I feel like they're going to do a little, not bait and switch, but a little switch at the last minute there, because it wouldn't make sense to have so many just pure Impact matches on the card. Like, Taya, she's in Lucha Underground. Why not make her come out in a different costume than the Taya Valkyrie costume? And ta-da, now you magically have an Impact versus LU match. So I don't know why it's so hard for Impact to do this. I don't know why they booked her as the Taya Valkyrie character in the match graphics and in the announcement. So I'm assuming there's gonna be a switch at the last minute here, and Taya's gonna come out as her Worldwide Underground Lucha Underground gimmick over her Queen of Lucha Libre gimmick that she does in Impact Wrestling. So here, obviously, when it comes to these Twitch exclusives, it's pretty clear as day. It's very predictable that these title changes won't happen. I do admit, though, that Impact Wrestling has done it in the past, switching titles on a house show. They've done that brave step. But they've taken that step before, swapping the titles on a house show. First one that comes to mind for some reason is the Bromance years ago, Robbie E, and I think it was Jesse Goddard at the time, yeah. So I remember that. I know other promotions don't really do it because, house show, not everyone sees it, right? And it's not really good for business, but I like it. I'm not going to get into it because it's not what the video is all about. I just like it because it adds a bit more realism to the world of Impact Wrestling. Well, to the world of pro wrestling as a total, because as we know, K-Fab or K-File, however you pronounce it, is supposedly dead. So I mean, like, if they do that, I mean, it adds a bit more realism. But anyways, here Ali retains. Long story short is what I meant to say. It's gonna be a good fight though. I feel like they're blowing it though, showing this on a Twitch exclusive, especially if they have Taya under her Impact Wrestling moniker. If they have her under her Lucha Underground character, then it won't be as bad because they're not technically considered the same character. So they could have a program, a proper original program on Impact Wrestling. But if they keep her in her Impact character, it's gonna kill it a bit if they ever have a program later on down the line together or a feud on Impact Television. So next match here, guys, is also for a championship, and it's the Impact Tag Team Championship as LAX, Santana, and Ortiz. No news on if Homicide, Diamante, and the rest of LAX are going to appear. But Santana and Ortiz are going to be defending their titles versus the Mac and Killshot, who are 2/3 of the Trios champions at the end of Season 3 of Lucha Underground. I was going to say Impact Wrestling. They don't have seasons. My bad there, guys. But anyways, here, yet again, title match. They're not going to switch hands. I don't think Impact, there's no reason for Impact to switch title hands on this kind of show. This is a bit less predictable though, guys, because as we know, Killshot, or Shane Strickland as he's known on the indie market, he has shown interest in Impact. Impact has shown interest in him. They do have a match together. Well, not together, but Killshot has a match against Austin Aries soon, in a few weeks, I think. So, I mean, it's possible that he does work with Impact down the line, and it would be cool to introduce him into Impact with a win like that as the tag team champions. Becoming tag team champion before he's even officially part of the company. But who knows about the Mac? There's been no news about Mac getting any interest from Impact Wrestling or vice versa, so who knows. But here, LAX retain without a doubt. It's clear as day. So let's move on now to the three big matches on the card here, guys. So these are, I'd like to consider them three main events, because these three matches definitely carry their own weight and are definitely all at the same time on the same card. So the first one here, guys, it was the newest one announced. It is Cage versus Eli Drake. So who knows if Cage will be representative of Lucha Underground or representative of Impact Wrestling. He has about the same gimmick in both companies. Lucha Underground call him a machine. Impact Wrestling call him a weapon of mass destruction or something like that. He has that kind of gimmick to him. So who knows who's going to be representing. I hope it's Lucha Underground, because not that I don't mind Impact versus Impact matches, but like it just ruins the sake of the pay-per-view. Not the pay-per-view, but of this Twitch exclusive. This Twitch exclusive was supposed to be Impact Wrestling versus Lucha Underground, not Impact versus Impact, not Lucha Underground versus Lucha Underground. I don't care about that. I can catch that on Impact Wrestling whenever the feud of the program comes on. So these matches, Impact took more advantage of doing the interpromotional stuff. But anyways, Cage versus Eli Drake, yet again, big, huge match to show on a Twitch exclusive. I hope, like, this is literally ruining their possible feud and program that they could have on Impact Wrestling by doing this match, because it kind of kills the first time ever vibe off of it when they do have this match, and then have a feud later on Impact Wrestling. But this match here, it's hard to predict here who wins. Eli Drake could do his heel shenanigans and get a cheap victory or a DQ or something like that, or a count out. But also, on the other hand, Cage can go straight through Eli Drake, because Eli Drake doesn't have the big man gimmick attached to him. He's not considered a big person in the wrestling world. So I don't know how he's going to be able to win this match. The commentators like to compare like strength, speed, stamina, and all that stuff. So I don't know how they're going to compare when it comes to these two. The only way I see Eli Drake winning by keeping Cage's undefeated gimmick going in Impact is if he wins by like a DQ or a count out. But if they really want to keep Cage's undefeated streak going, then they definitely need to do Cage over Eli Drake and not Drake winning this match. Because Eli Drake can bounce back from pretty much any match with just his mic skills alone. So I don't expect anything different here. So let's move on to a match that's huge and actually has a context surrounding it, and it's not just a random prediction here. Well, none of these were random, but I mean, like, at least there's some kind of story surrounding it. It's Eddie Edwards versus Jeremiah Crane, aka Sami Callihan, in Impact Wrestling in an I Quit match. So basically, we know the story. Everyone knows the story, even if you're not a fan of Impact Wrestling. Sami Callihan tried to do a bat shot on a chair, missed the chair, hit Eddie Edwards, broke his nose, broke his orbital bone, basically just destroyed his eyeball, basically. Sami Callihan got some heat. Sami Callihan blew it off. Eddie Edwards apologized. Sami Callihan apologized. Impact Wrestling said it was a-okay. They're doing a feud about it because every indie promotion is milking the hell out of these two. I feel like these two have faced each other more in this month than they've ever had or ever will. I know House of Hardcore had or will be having a street fight between the two. Other promotions are hopping in as well. And this match is going to be hard to see who wins this. Sami Callihan is under the Jeremiah Crane moniker here for this match. It's been confirmed. So it'll be interesting to see if they'll use that as an excuse for Eddie Edwards to go over Sami Callihan or Jeremiah Crane, because Jeremiah Crane's technically not Sami Callihan, so he's technically not OVE. So he's technically doesn't have the same image, the same dominance as the OVE character. So I don't know if they're going to go that deep into kayfabe or however we want to pronounce it. So I don't know. I don't see. This is really a 50-50. But with the Jeremiah Crane thing coming into play, gimmick coming into play, I see it going to Eddie Edwards just for that reason. It's going to be a very brutal match. I hope that they get blood involved and stuff like that, because they really need to really go hardcore to really sell this kind of story. Especially, it was a real injury, so they want a bloodbath. They want to kill each other, basically. So I hope they can go all out. I'm not sure what Twitch's rules are when it comes to that. I mean, they show the Barbed Wire Massacre match, but I still feel to this day that that was just a gimmick to get people to tune into Twitch for the first time. But anyways, I hope that this match delivers, and it probably will deliver. These two guys can put on a hell of a match, and they're both, well, Eddie Edwards not much of a brawler, but I mean, like, they're fast. They're both very fast wrestlers for their size. And so now let's move on, lastly, to the main event, guys. People were a bit disappointed. I'm fine with it as it is because it protects both sides of the company, regardless of who wins, who loses. So it was a very safe middle ground for both companies to put as a main event. So I understand it. It's Austin Aries and Rey Fenix versus Alberto El Patron and Penta 0M, OM, Pentagon Jr., Pentagon Dark, whatever you want to call him. He has so many different names with so many different promotions because of AAA being assholes. But anyways, so this is a very interesting main event scene. They could definitely give this 20 minutes more if they have time. They have 9 matches to show in 2.5 hours, so they'll have their work cut out for them. So a lot of these matches are going to be short, but if they can give this match enough time, it could definitely shine. So basically, my prediction here has to be Alberto El Patron and Pentagon Jr. or Dark. It's always like that when it comes to these kinds of feuds. Rey Fenix and Pentagon aren't in any feud of any sorts, but Pentagon is considered a bigger. He's in more of the main event scene in Lucha Underground. He's considered a bigger, stronger, and more dominant force in Lucha Underground. So they want to keep him that way, and him eating a loss like that against these two people, against Austin Aries and Rey Fenix, would really hurt his character. So, and also on the Impact Wrestling side of things, it's always how it goes when it comes to a face defending his belt against a heel. The heel's always going to win. He's going to win. He's going to win. And in the face, Austin Aries is going to have his little comeback at Redemption and finally pin Alberto to retain his title. That's usually how it goes. I'll keep my Redemption predictions for later on when I actually do another Fire Guys predictions on that. That's not till another 2 or 3 weeks from now. But anyways, Alberto El Patron, Pentagon Jr. here. They have to retain here. Not retain, but win. I don't see it going any other way. But it's going to be a solid main event. So overall, guys, just to finish this video off, that's been the rundown of the entire Impact Wrestling versus Lucha Underground card. Thank you guys for listening throughout the whole thing. I don't know how to say it, guys. I'm pretty excited. Also, at the same time, I'm a bit disappointed in the card. They could have done so much better. Yes, people have said on Impact Asylum to me that yes, they can't do all the dream matches. Blah 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 blah. Has to protect both companies. Blah 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 blah. But the characters have to be maintained and blah blah blah. But the problem is, I can make a card with my eyes shut. Well, I wouldn't. I can still make a card with my eyes shut. Well, I mean, like, I can make a better card than this, you know, like drunk or something. I don't know. Like, it feels like Impact half-assed it, and some of these matches are gonna be really, really fun. Don't get me wrong, but they could have done so much better with the people they had. Like, there's still tons of names that have been announced for the event that still aren't in a match. Johnny Mundo and Son of Havoc are 2 big names that come to mind. They're on the poster. They both personally announced they would be at the event, and they aren't even booked for a match. So this is where I think that they're going to do a big swerve here at the last minute. They might cut out a few of these crappy matches, because Worldwide Underground, I don't know why they're not on the card. I get the Jack Evans is, but I mean, like, Worldwide Underground together should be on the card. Son of Havoc definitely should be, as he's a staple of Lucha Underground, and so on. So I feel like some changes might happen in the future. I hope so. This card is, I would say it's okay, leaning on good. It could have been better, could have been worse though. So I'm happy the way it is. If it happens again, they can always improve it. This is definitely I'd say the card on paper is the first successful step right now. So hopefully Impact can deliver when it comes to the actual show, which airs tomorrow, April 6th. I think so. Tune in for that, guys. So basically, yeah, I'll end the video off here, guys. Or not the video, the podcast, audio column, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and listening to this far, like I just said. If you're interested, I will be uploading a hot fire during the weekend for the event, and make sure to check all the other original content on Impact Asylum if you're watching this on YouTube and it's your first time visiting the website. My name's Fireguy, and I'll see you guys a little bit later.